Alright, Carl, I think I'm going to try something a little different today. Do a video reflection. Hopefully you'll be okay with this and not like yell at me tomorrow. But this morning's activities were really cool. Talking about grouping. I actually never really thought about grouping in the way that we did this morning. A lot of times when, we did it last year, but as a new teacher, when I first started out, they just talked about grouping as in doing, homogeneous, heterogeneous, grouping by numbers, and a lot of it was just real quick and easy things. And I think some of the things that we probably want to focus on when we're working with our participants is the fact that it's not quick and easy. And in order to get down to the dirt of it, the nitty-gritty part, we actually have to spend some time and set up the filters or the criteria that they're using for separating out these kids. And and another thing is making sure that the kids know that this is not just some random thing, and that there is purpose behind the way that you do that. Because if you have these kinds of things set up in your classroom, you're going to get a lot less pushback from the kids on how on how they're grouped. They're not going to think that it's just some random thing and that it can be changed at any time. And I think a lot of that comes with having strong classroom procedures. If you have strong classroom procedures, if you set up your classroom in the mindset of the PBL environment, you're going to have that's what I'm saying. If you do this the right way, you're going to have success with this, especially if you take the time to follow the steps like we were doing today. I have to say the last couple days of training have actually been, for me, a lot more beneficial than some of the stuff that we've done in the last 2 years. Because we're really getting into it. The activities they're just hitting home for some reason. I don't know if it was because it was new last year, it didn't stick as well. But this year, for some reason, I'm really feeling it. Even with sitting down the other day and cutting out the CSOs and doing the sorting, that was something that I hadn't done and probably should have been doing for a while now. And it actually helped me think about it, even though we did the 10th grade stuff and I'm usually used to 7th grade stuff, but it made me look at it in a different way. But grouping, wow. If we look at the criteria and do it the right way and set things, set the standards early for the kids, and then in reflection, setting the standards early for the participants and letting them know that yes, it's a little bit of work at first, but what isn't. This is something that when we do this, there are successful results, and I'm seeing the successful results in myself this week, and the fact that I'm realizing, wow. And it's not just one of those things where you sort of sit through and piddle through. We're engaged and we're active throughout the whole participation. This afternoon, really cool stuff as well with doing the activities with the community-centered stuff. Some of it got to be a little bit dry at the end. The map activity is very cool. Talking with the two ladies, very cool. It did get there at the end as we were sort of petering out there around 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish. It was the end of the day. I did feel a little frustrated leaving out of there with that because we left out of there with questions. It's okay to have that like earlier in the day, because that way usually by the time when we finish up we have answers and we're okay with what has just happened and how to work through it. But I'm still sitting there in the back of my mind. It's we've been out of there for a little over an hour and a half now, and I'm still thinking to myself, okay, how can I make this work? What kind of things do I need to do? Because it was just a little bit different than the process that we went through with the Buck guys. Dave, because we were looking to have the CSOs and things of that nature and start there. I think Regina's question hit it home with everybody else with do we not need to start with the end in mind kind of thing, and because it wasn't quite like that. But I think hopefully tomorrow there'll be some clarifications. Now tomorrow I'm looking very forward and very excited to tomorrow. Not so much as from a social studies standpoint, because social studies is near and dear to my heart. I will always be a social studies teacher. But looking at it from my new job as a TIS, I'm seeing all kinds of things that will be very beneficial. I've got a couple of classes right now, or a couple of schools One's a K-8, one's a K-5. My K-8 school is wonderful. I've got a bunch of teachers who are doing digital video projects with their kids, and the whole school's getting involved, and they're using smart boards and whiteboards and other kinds of things that I hadn't seen before. I mean, they're really getting into this 21st century stuff. However, at my other school, K-5, it's a lot more difficult. Teachers hadn't had the resources. They didn't know how to use them. There's 2 whiteboards in the school. One's mounted on somebody's wall, and the other one's on a cart that sits and collects dust, which really surprised me. But I'm looking at these resources and kinds of things that we're looking at tomorrow for the Web 2.0 tools, and the fact that next year they're actually going to be Title I schools, and being excited going back to work with those people, because there are things there that they will be able to use. And I'm right now, as it is, I've got 3 or 4 teachers that I can work with who know what they're doing. 2 of them are short-term or long-term subs and maybe won't be there next year. The other 2, one of them will be here for TLI, and the other one, hopefully when she gets back next year, I'll be in her room and we'll be able to do some stuff and get some more teachers to step on board and step over into this, because I'm seeing a lot more resources which I hadn't seen in the past, or probably because I hadn't been looking for them for the K-5 group. Mostly because I didn't work with K-5. I was 7th and 8th grade for the most part. Occasionally looking down to 6th grade to help out with certain projects. But I'm very excited, and I think these last couple of days have been really beneficial, and hopefully you won't yell at me too much for recording a video and sending it to you. Hopefully it'll upload. I hadn't even thought about that. But I'm going to probably trim this down to size here in a minute. But if you have any questions, hey, you know where to find me. Alright, thanks. Bye.